Let's talk about 5 ways to save time and money as a nomad in your RV, van, car, whatever your rig is, on a really low budget. Today, I started my day with coffee, looking out over the pond. And then I got some bookkeeping done, and this afternoon it is going to be errands day in town. So I thought I would take you with me. So here we go. Let's head out. Being a nomad means being as efficient as I can with my time and my budget. I try to do everything I need to do in town on the same day. Weekly, I'll get fresh produce, fuel, refill my water jugs, take a real shower. Monthly, I make freezer meals ahead of time, so I head to Costco and Bulk Barn for cheaper bulk foods. I take my recycling to a depot, stock up on cat food, get meds and vitamins, and yes, I do my laundry. So I could go over the right side there, but I'm not gonna because I've had a noise going on underneath. Around to the right side, I could have actually gone over the tree. There was room to go on the right there, but I've had some sounds underneath the Jeep that I'd rather not have to fix anything right now if something went bonkers underneath. So I've just turned around. I'm going out the other way. Thankfully there are 2 ways in and out of here, so I'm going to do that to get into town. What is errands day and why is it so important? Well, I have 2 kinds of errands days. The first one is my weekly, and that's a shorter trip usually. I eat a lot of salad, so I get a lot of produce every week. I get fuel, I'll check my mail, And I often will look for a place to have a real shower. Not that the RV doesn't have a shower, and I invested in this really awesome shower head. It's Oxygenics, which I'll put a link to in the comments as well. Sometimes it's just nice to have a shower with a lot of good water pressure and just enjoy standing there for more than 15 seconds at a time, and then turning it off and then having to turn it on again and on and off as I'm showering. Thankfully, I have a daughter who allows me to do that. So those are the kind of things that I do weekly. I also will meet up with my daughter or friends. My monthly errands day is quite a bit more involved. It usually goes morning till night. It's not a quick trip in. And I do a lot of stuff. So I stock up on a lot of the food that goes into freezer meals. I will do laundry, and you might think, ew, laundry once a month? That's gross. Sometimes in my weekly trips, if I need it, then I'll do a lot of laundry. The most important stuff that really needs to be done. But otherwise, I'd rather leave it because it'll use less resources, less money, costs way less to do a few big loads of laundry than a whole bunch of smaller ones, at the laundromat anyway. On my monthly trips into town, I will usually get supplies if I know what kind of projects I have coming up. There's always a lot of stuff to do around the RV, and although I try and buy as little as possible and reuse whatever I can, there's always a few little things here and there that I need to pick up. So that's when I'll do that, is all at the same time. How do my errands days save me time and money? The first and most obvious thing is it saves on fuel. So when I have an errands day coming up, I plan my route. And I make sure that I'm doing things kind of in order so I'm not zigzagging all across the city or wherever it is I'm going. I'm stationary right now in my rig, so going into town takes about 20 minutes, half an hour, depending, to get there. And then all the running around I have to do in town. So planning out my route totally saves money. Planning an errands day means I get more done faster. So when I plan out my day, I know exactly what routes I'm going to take. I can plan ahead and have a look at Google Maps and see what the traffic's like everywhere, and really plan out exactly where I'm going to go. That way I'm not wasting time. I'm just getting there and getting in and getting out. Also, fewer trips means more time for other things, for just enjoying. So I get to do the things I really love to do, or the other things that I need to do, whether it's doing errands around the trailer itself, or going kayaking, or going for walks, or just taking the time with friends and family. The third way that an errands day saves me time and money is that at the end of the month, usually there are several stores who run deals for seniors, students, veterans, whatever. So I watch for those sales and try and find the most common day every month, and that's when I plan my errands days. So in my case, I get cat food regularly, and anybody who has a pet probably knows that, especially lately in the last year or two, the cost of pet food has gone way up. So I go on the day that pet food store has their deals. And fortunately, some of the grocery stores also run it on the same day. So I do watch for those monthly deals and plan ahead, and it saves a whole lot of money. You guys curious? Okay. The fourth way my errands days save me time and money is that I buy things in bulk because I make monthly freezer meals. Now, I'm in an RV right now, so I have lots of room. So this may not be as practical if you're in a small van or your car. But even in my RV right now, I'm not using the RV fridge. There was something wrong with it. I needed to fix it. It was winter time. I didn't want to remove skirting to crawl underneath. So when the fridge went, I decided to invest in a little 12-volt fridge, a cooler style. And when I was looking around, I saw all the big names and, read all the reviews, and Yeti and Mobicool and all the top names. They were really expensive, like really expensive. And they had most of them had separate compartments for fridge and freezer, but one lid. So I came across Bougie RV fridges, 12-volt fridges. I'm really happy with it. It's got the 2 lids, one for each compartment, Bluetooth app, so it's integrated for remote. It's got interior lights, and it's half the price of the big name fridges. Over time, I've been improving my abilities to be more energy efficient. So at first, when I had the trailer, I had to rely on plugging it in and using everything just stock. My source of electricity isn't a very good one, and it's not totally reliable because it's shared. I'm way out in the middle of nowhere, really, and I'm pulling power off a pump house that gets its power from way far away. So there were a lot of problems with it, some issues with that power. It ended up blowing my RV converter at one point. So I had that converter fixed, but I decided that I'm not going to plug in and use the stock stuff. Now, I'm low budget, very, very low budget. I'm low income because I have a disability and I'm not always able to work, but I work when I can and in ways that I can. So I make a little bit here and there, and I've been putting away as much as I can so that I could improve my power situation. So I have had the good fortune to work enough that I was able to invest in, first, a Jackery. I believe it's an 880 watt. They're only available in Canada at that power level, I understand. It looks like the 1000, not the Pro, just the regular. And when the converter blew, I needed power, and I had to run to a store, and I went to all Home Depot, Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire had the Jackeries in, and so I decided to buy one because I needed power at that moment. And I'm really glad I did now, because it got me started on how I'm using solar. In my case, I'm in the woods, and I'm tucked away, and I don't get much sun on the trailer in my little space here. It actually does work, and I am able to move. I have one panel, 100 watt. It can handle 200 watts, but I didn't want to invest any more than this. So I can put that panel in the Jackery anywhere I need to in the sun. That got me introduced to solar and relying only on solar. Once the converter was fixed, I decided that I don't want to blow this again because the electricity is not great here. I put away the power cord for the trailer and just haven't had it plugged in at all. Again, I've had the good fortune to be able to work enough that I was able to save up and invest in some lithium iron phosphate batteries and a good sized solar panel and like the whole system. So as I've been building this solar system for myself, that went into the reason why I decided to get a 12-volt fridge, the cooler style. What I knew is that I also love to travel, and I have my little Jeep, and I wanted to be able to take my cooler with me and my power with me. Which is another benefit of having the Jackery because it's portable. My other solar system is sitting in the trailer, and that's where it stays. So when I invested in this little cooler, I have way less room than the RV fridge, but I'm still able to get tons in it. I was really surprised, and it's been a great little cooler. If you're interested, I'll put the link to it below in the comments. Now that I have a fridge going again and a freezer, I'm able to do freezer meals, and there's a few reasons why I do that. The first one is to save money. So that's where the errands days come in, and being able to buy in bulk. I can make my freezer meals ahead of time. So if I buy lots, I can make all that into many, many freezer meals. What do I mean by freezer meals? I have little containers that I specifically use for my freezer. They're 1 cup each, which is enough for me. I don't need any more than that. In fact, a lot of the times that's a lot for me, for one person. For example, I'll get chicken pieces. Often I'll get turkey legs or pieces of stewing beef. And I have a crock pot. Sometimes I just put those things in themselves because I think, okay, later on when I want to get a freezer meal done, if I'm just pulling out something that has just chicken, I can do anything with it, whatever I feel like that day. On the other hand, if I want to pull something out that's a ready-made meal, I don't have to cook anything else. I can pull out things if I make stews or soups or whatever it is. So I do that. The other reason I do that, and it comes in handy, is because of health issues. I'm not always able to cook a lot some days. So having freezer meals really allows me to just pull something out, and I do that a few hours before I want to eat it. It's there. I can heat it up if I need to. I can eat them cold if I want, if I've made them that way. So that's a really huge benefit of these errands days is being able to do that, buy in bulk and pre-make everything. So when I go on my errands days, usually I plan the day after to be my cooking day. And so I make everything all at once, everything that I can, and then in the freezer it goes. The fifth way that my errands days save me time and money is that they encourage way less waste. When I'm going from store to store, I take bags with me. Our community doesn't use plastic bags anymore. They give out paper bags. And I'm told that paper bags actually use more energy and more resources to produce than plastic bags. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to do the research, but that's just what I've come to understand. So when I come back to the Jeep, I throw everything in the same bags, so I'm using very little there. Also, when I buy in bulk, the actual items themselves use less packaging. So overall, I am using way less resources, including fuel. There's a saying I try and live by. May I use what I have wisely before I ask for more or different. So recycling is a really great thing. I'm glad we have it in the community, but it's not an excuse to use more and more and more. So it's almost like a backfiring solution because people don't want to put things in the landfill, but they're still putting it into recycling. A lot of recycling actually goes in the garbage anyway, because if things aren't completely clean or they're not separated out, they end up going in the garbage, is what I'm told. I'm really aware of trying to use as little resources as possible. The other thing about that is when I'm going from store to store, whenever I feel like it, I'm more tempted to just spend on things that I see that I don't really need. And again, I want to use what I have. The other thing that ties into that is I don't have room for a lot. Now, being in an RV, my trailer is 26 feet. So there's quite a bit more room than, say, if you're in a van or in your car. And we tend to fill the space we have when we have it. So I find that I'll buy things. I didn't really need it. I could have used something else. I think it's just that mindset of consumption and getting what I want. Oh, hi. All the birds. So those were just a few ways to save time and money living as a nomad. Do you have any other ideas of your own? What did you think of these ones? Leave a comment and let me know. And if you don't mind, I'd really appreciate it if you'd press the like button on this video. And if you want to catch other videos that I do, please press the subscribe button and the little bell, and you'll get notified whenever I upload something new. So have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you in the next one.